Hey, what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope-A-Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. I'm back. I'm definitely. I got some free time in my schedule here, and my schedule's changed just enough to be able to get some videos in here. I'm gonna try to get this YouTube channel going again. I definitely miss, you know, doing the videos, responding to videos, going back and forth with fans and all that. So it's been a long time. Like I said, I just had a couple things going on overall, and just you know how life gets in the way. But I am back to do another video, and make sure, if this is the first time that you're seeing the channel, and obviously I haven't done a video in a long time, make sure you check out Rope-A-Dope Radio. It's on Blog Talk Radio /Rope-A-Dope Radio. It's live every Wednesday, 6 on the West, 9 on the East, 8 in the cornfields or Central Time. I call it the cornfields just because it's Midwest. Just a little joke there. Don't get mad at me, Texas. I know you got a big state, okay? Big cities all over the place. No, Central Time, and then obviously 2, 3 o'clock over in the UK, 2 GM time. People know what I'm talking about over across the pond. Anyway, I'm happy to be back, and like I said, I'm definitely going to try to dedicate myself and try to do some more of these YouTube videos. Of course, what a great fight to come back to. Actually, Rigondeaux and Donaire, we had a big recap debate on the whole fight. Of course, if you're a hardcore boxing fan, you know a lot of people were talking every which way about that fight. It was boring. It was a master classic performance with craftsmanship and all this, boxing. And then, of course, we talked about a lot of the writers that, that had Nonito picked by a KO, and then all of a sudden they say it was a bad fight, and it was a boring fight, this, that, and the other. So we talked about a wide variety of things. Make sure you check it out. Like I said, every Wednesday or anytime on archive. Check out Rope-A-Dope Radio. But let's get in this fight. Canelo Alvarez against Austin Trout. Great matchup. You got to give credit to both fighters here. 2 different belts, unification, although, we know the WBC, and we just know that it probably won't have these 2 belts unless Canelo wins. Then he'll have all the belts he can win and keep them probably. But, obviously Canelo Alvarez is really become a big star. He was obviously a growing star here in the States, and now, being that his last fight did great numbers on Showtime, did a number at the time and hadn't done it quite a long time. It got over the million, mark for ratings, and obviously the sellout, 14,000 strong. The crowd was just crazy. Great fight. But obviously in Mexico he was already big, and now he's just crazy. 38,000 people. I think it's 38,004 at the Alamo Dome for this fight, which is just great. The co-feature is 2 unbeaten guys. So for the doubleheader, 4 undefeated fighters. You gotta like that. Canelo, he's slowly, like I said, worked his way up. He turned young. We know as a young, he turned pro young, I should say. And he's worked his way up. I was at that Floyd Mayweather Sugar Shane Mosley when he fought on that undercard pay-per-view, and he got hurt. He got hurt by Cotto's brother early in that fight. He came back and won it, but he was hurt. He was definitely hurt. He's worked his way up. The Matthew Hatton fight was a brawl, but got hit a lot. A lot of people got down on him after that. I've seen a lot of improvement, though. The problem is he hasn't faced anybody at that top level. Sugar Shane Mosley was a top-level fighter, pound-for-pound fighter, Hall of Fame type fighter, but not when he fought him. Jose Cito Lopez is going to make, I believe, some noise at 147. He already has made noise at 147. What am I saying? And did you guys just see what my mouth did? I kind of farted with my mouth there. You see that? I guess I'm just out. I've been off the camera for a while, so I'm slipping over here. I'm slipping. Well, watch out now. Anyway, what was I saying? See, I'm all over the place. No, Canelo, though, Jose Cito Lopez, is not a 154 pounder. Maybe in a couple years he's got some height. Maybe he'll grow into that. But right now, 147 and a little bit lower, maybe even, is better. Anyway, he just hasn't fought that top level guy. I've seen some improvement, though. I've seen some improvement. In that Lopez fight, I saw some improvement in there. I think his speed has definitely come a long way. He's an accurate puncher. He puts his punches together and he mixes them up well. So he'll put combinations together, very accurate, and he mixes it up. It seems like he's bringing an uppercut into it. He's got the left hook to the body, left hook to the head. Got a great jab. Very patient, come-forward fighter. But he just hasn't fought a guy that's going to be on the move as much or as crafty, not just on the move with the jab, but on the move and able to throw his punches too. Austin Trout, pretty much an unknown fighter. A lot of people got down on him against that Delvin Rodriguez, that stinker fight. But the Cotto fight really said a lot about him. You know what I mean? To go into Madison Square Garden with the Puerto Rican faithful back in Cotto, and to come out of there with a solid win. It was a good fight. It had its moments where it was tight. Cotto had a chance to win the fight, but Trout, when he maybe have a bad round, Trout would come back and have a great round. So, this is a very even fight. Obviously, Trout has an advantage just because he's fought a top-level guy. Now, was Cotto tippy-top, pound-for-pound guy anymore? No. But at 154, he can beat a lot of guys. There's not too many guys he can't beat at that weight class. So, he put on a hell of a performance. Let's talk a little bit, about the matchup here. And by the way, we are going to have a post-fight show on Rope-A-Dope Radio. I'll be joined, of course, by the co-host Ness from theboxingvoice.com. Make sure you check out the boxingvoice.com. That's THA, boxingvoice.com. Big shouts out to Ness and the whole crew over there. This fight, though, matchup-wise, like I said, I liked what Trout did against Cotto. A couple of things that I'll point out, okay? And we dug deep on the show, so you get a lot of opinions, not just mine. Make sure you check out the latest show. Like I said, recap, debate, predictions, interviews, news, post-fight. Like we got a post-fight show coming up. The number is 646-381-4990. Call in, listen live, listen on a browser, listen on iTunes. Call in and join the roundtable. Either way, your voice will definitely be heard. But back to this Trout, what I liked is his activity. I knew he had skill. I knew he had a good jab. I knew he had good hand speed. I knew he had good defense going into that Cotto fight. I picked Cotto, though. I thought he'd be a tight enough fight where Cotto would get the card. It was a tight fight. It was a competitive fight. But Trout won it, I thought, clearly enough. And of course, one of those scorecards, I believe at least one of them, were too wide. It wasn't whitewashed by any stretch of the imagination. But what I liked about it is when he was on the rope, he, once in a while, would punch out of it. He did that every once in a while. But really, he would just be gone. And sometimes he'd throw that right hook and just be gone. He would be gone. And I liked how he didn't spend a lot of time on that rope. Cotto got him on the rope at times. Don't get me wrong, he did. But not as much as he'd like. And he also clinched. It was a very minor clinch. And I liked his work rate. His work rate was key. He just kept coming and bringing it. He was first. And he was first sometimes, not just with his jab or a straight left hand, but he was first with combos too. He would land and combo, So he really impressed me with his work rate. And it's something that he said he's going to keep doing. He said even if he has, the lead, he feels like he has a comfortable lead, he's going to put the pedal to the metal. So you got to put the gas on, and obviously it's going to be more than double the amount of people. Like I said, 38,004, I think, was the final number for the sellout. So Trout, I like what he brings to this. I like what he brings to this in a lot of ways. And all I needed to know is, does he have enough pop? Maybe he doesn't have this knockout power per se, but I think he has that TKO. Anyone can get a nice punch in too. I'm not saying he can't knock people out. I think he's got that TKO, and I think he's got that respect pop. The power, just enough to respect it no matter what. But the work rate was key. It really surprised me. And that's what he's going to have to do in this fight. Now, the one thing, sometimes he was too active sometimes for his style, where he would come in and he would lunge in with that left hand at times, or even with that jab. And sometimes he'd have that nice stiff jab, but other times he just kind of, fling it. Very effective, but he did get a little flingy with his punches, and he'd leap in at times. Now, another thing is, and I think this was actually the biggest thing that I saw out of Trout against Cotto, is when he would come in, he'd get his punch up, but when he was coming out, he was getting hit by hooks. Pretty big hooks, excuse me. And I think that's actually some of the best punches that were landed on him in that Cotto fight. Now, Canelo, he's improved. He's put his punches together, the speed, his body's starting to develop. He's getting some of that baby fat off. He's really a patient guy that sticks to his jab and can put his punches together, but he just gets hit so much. The Matthew Hatton fight, a lot of people were down on him after that. I think in that fight, he got a little sloppy. I just don't think Matthew Hatton had any power, so he didn't care. He was just going to give, his fan base a fun fight, and he did. It was a fun fight. But a lot of people jumped off the bandwagon after that fight. Or the people that were never on his bandwagon, definitely had a lot of, ammo at that point to come at Canelo. But I've seen a lot of improvement. But even in a fight like the Jose Cito Lopez fight, right? He was killing him to the body. He was getting his shots off. But Lopez was still able to get off. Now, Lopez has a lot of heart, but at that weight class, he just doesn't belong there. And all's Cotto has, or not Cotto, but Canelo has is this. He's just covering up and getting hit, and then he would return fire. And in the Shane Mosley, he was killing Shane to the body, but he got hit a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of it was this, arm punches. And later in the fight, it was real arm punchy. It was actually funny. It was like a workout. It's like a little workout that Shane would do, and once in a while he'd get a nice little right hand in there. But they were arm punches, but there was like, if I remember correctly, like over 180, 190. But he landed a bunch of punches on him, even though he was dominating the fight. And I guess I can't get that out of my mind. I can't get out of that mind. And not just that, but Trout's not just going to be right there. He's not going to be right there. And I think being that Trout knows how to not be on the ropes and just dip out of there, and sometimes throw a punch, like I said, that right hook, and getting out of there was key. So, and not just that, but the clinch. It'll be really interesting to see how far Canelo, I've seen improvement in his offensive game. And I even saw this from Canelo. Now, Lopez has a pretty good jab. He was sticking that jab out, and he was doing just that little hesitation, left hook, uppercut. He was able to come over the jab. He was able to time the jab, or just whatever you want to call it, counter the jab. All over, overall, he was just able to get off, even though the jab was sticking him for a second. So I like that. That's something that he's going to need to do. And it does look like I said, he's patient. He'll come at you, but he doesn't just come at you out of nowhere. If you're hurt, he's going to come at you. He wants to get you on the ropes, but he doesn't have to do that right away. He doesn't have to burn up a bunch of punches. So this can be a good fight. I'm actually really interested to see if Canelo can get more than one punch at a time off. That's what I'm really, when he gets him near the ropes, is he going to be able to just get tied up? Is he going to be able to push him off, maybe throw up a little elbow to clear some space, push off and clear some space? Or is he going to do what he did to Cotto and just dip out of there, maybe even give him a right hook on the way out? That's what we're going to find out. See how far Canelo has come as a full-around fighter an all-around fighter, to get it done like that. When a guy's not going to be there, he's going to show you skill. That's what I just don't know. I don't think he can do that just yet. I'll be very impressed if he can get it. And actually, on this Wednesday's show, it's the first time I've done this, and I think this is the first time I've ever done it on YouTube as well. I'm calling for a draw, because I'm gonna now. If you say, Chris, if I had a gun to your head, who are you gonna go with? I'm gonna go with Trout. I'm going with Trout. But just because of style, I think the confidence level after Cotto and that game plan is huge. Now, Cotto has had a problem pulling the trigger. Like, he used to be able to just come beast you out, take a punch, but also deliver his punch, and his punch would be the bigger punch a lot of times. He got buzzed a lot and hurt on the way up, don't get me wrong, but he would just get in a beast mode, and he wasn't able to do that because he wasn't able to land as many punches. I think he definitely lit him up at times on the rope. But I think that's key. What will happen on the rope? That's the key. But I'm going actually randomly with the draw. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I've seen 20, 22, 25 to 1 odds on the draw. I think if it's an 8-4 fight and Canelo is able to get him on the rope and kind of buzz him or appear to buzz him or have a really dominant round where Trout just not getting off and Canelo's got him on the rope, I think that, or even, he scores a knockdown. I think an 8-4 fight, 7-5, I think it may be like an 8-4, 7-5 favoring Trout, but I just don't think Trout's going to get that decision again. And that's why I'm actually, for the first time, I believe, ever, and like I said, remind me if I forgot some video, a couple years ago. I definitely haven't done it on the radio show, but either way, I'm calling for a draw. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm putting some money. I got a little underdog money on Trout because I am confident. I think Trout will win the fight, but I'm really curious to see Canelo and what he does as far as cutting off that rope and how far he has come, with this fight. But I'm actually going out on a limb, and you may say I'm copping out, but if you watch this channel before, if you've listened to the radio show, I've never done this, so I'm not copping out. Say whatever you want, but I'm picking a draw. I'm picking a draw. Now, like I said, I'm picking Trout if you say, well, okay, say you don't have a draw. I favor Trout in this fight, but I'm going to pick a draw. Anyway, this has been the Rope a Dope Report. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to do more of these videos and get back into the swing of things on the video. And also, of course, go to Blog Talk Radio /Rope a Dope Radio and check out the post-fight show this weekend.